Welcome to the first installment of the UFO Flying Saucer Theater. Back in 1968, I was 12 years old. While even then I was fascinated by the enigmatic, I was also quite terrified of the paranormal. In 1966, Michigan went through an intense period of UFO sightings called the flap, and that's when I saw my second UFO, one that I will never forget. Even though I was abnormally terrified of UFOs, I loved to read about them. In 1968, Gold Key Comics came out with the first issue of UFO Flying Saucers. And while most comic books were only 12 cents back then, this was a giant issue, and it cost a whopping 25 cents. Well, I could only read it a bit at a time, and never at night when I was by myself. I don't know what happened to that comic and the over 2,000 others that I had in my collection, and I sure wish I had them now because they would be worth a young fortune. Today, I was in Court Street Antiques here in Saginaw, Michigan, and I was going through a sale box of comics, and lo and behold, there was the UFO comic that I remembered so well. It was marked $6, but when I got to the checkout, Jennifer, one of the owners, told me these comics were half price, plus an additional 20% off, so I got the book very inexpensively. I brought it home and began thumbing through it. I was kind of amazed that this comic had one time really had played a dramatic effect on my fears. It was fun to see it again, but not scary at all. I noticed on many of the cases the facts were quite a bit skewed, especially the Michigan sightings, which took place in 1966, but the comic says 1965. I decided I would take the time to scan a few of the stories and share them with you. There are quite a few stories in the comic, so for this first UFO Flying Saucer Theater, I want to present to you the Michigan Mystery and a couple other short features. In presenting this to you, I'm going to change only the dates to what they should really be. So let's go back to March 1966 through the eyes of Gold Key Comics as I present the Michigan Mystery. What is a UFO? Was written in 1968 and is uncredited. UFO simply means unidentified flying object. A UFO is a phenomenon, usually a bright light in the sky, which has been observed but cannot be explained. Actually, many explanations have been offered, from the coldly scientific to the whimsically imaginative. But the truth is that these explanations either fail to hold up under careful scrutiny or are wildly implausible as to be unprovable. Descriptions of these phenomena are usually vague, and eyewitness accounts give these flying objects a variety of shapes and sizes. Some have been described as metallic and dish-shaped, hence the name flying saucer. Some have been small, others were large, as a football field. They have been seen as alone or flying in formation. They can hover motionless or fly at fantastic speeds, changing course instantaneously. Since they have been sighted in the air, UFOs are generally thought of to be some kind of an aircraft, but their characteristics do not match any known aircraft made on Earth. One of the most common beliefs is that they are spaceships from an alien planet. Some of the eyewitness stories would seem to bear that belief out. They tell of seeing human-like creatures in the windows or of seeing them emerge from the craft which have landed. Some describe UFOs as dangerous and tell of mysterious rays which can stun, burn, or erase the memory. UFOs are nothing new. Sightings were made thousands of years ago. Still, they defy all efforts to discover what they really are, where they come from, and whether they amount to anything more than an interesting curiosity. In short, UFOs remain one of our most intriguing and persistent mysteries. From 1968, The Great Unanswered Question, and this is uncredited as to who wrote it. Are the UFOs real? Many investigators suggest that UFO sightings may be due to mass hallucinations caused by hysteria-producing headlines. Others, while admitting that the sightings were real enough, say that they were merely natural phenomena, usually rare occurrences that are little understood by the layman. Scientists point out to the mysterious lights floating above swampy areas may be caused by marsh gas, which is sometimes luminescent. During electrical storms, static electricity in the form of a glowing ball may appear to be a hovering UFO. Some UFO sightings have been debunked as being man-made, such as weather balloons, often flattened by high-pressure conditions between two layers of air. Astronomers believe that their fireball sightings were simply meteors or man-made satellites burning up in the Earth's atmosphere. In one case, it was hinted that the UFO was a top-secret moon travel vehicle being tested in a desert area. Yet each year, there are hundreds of new sightings. Authentic UFO reports by police officers, engineers, highly trained airline pilots, and prominent astronomers. A number of scientists believe that the authorities are too quick to explain away any and all UFO sightings, and that we need much more thorough investigation by reliable people whose only objective is to learn and reveal the truth. Meanwhile, man waits in ignorance, wondering whether the truth will have any significance for him. But the big question remains unanswered. And though this was written in 1968, it has remained unanswered yet today, though I think the theory put forth by most Christian denominations that they are demonic in origin hold true, and certainly much about these objects could also be said about demonic spirits, but we'll get into that another time. That's it.